With the success of the 3800 Class 210-2s behind him, Purcell now focused his attention on taking the 3800 class design strengths even further and reorganizing the entire mechanical department. The past experiments with compound and articulated locomotives, although gone from Santa Fe, had another drawback that was still lingering around. That is, this large pool of experimental locomotives had left Purcell's mechanical department disorganized with obsolete parts and servicing methods. The 3800 class proved Purcell's design genius, and he knew exactly what he was going to do from this point forward. Using the proven success of the four-wheel trailing truck, he would now create new locomotives with large fireboxes, big pistons powered by boilers with high pressures. Coal-burning engines would have mechanical stokers, and all engines would have Alesco feed water heaters, Type E superheaters, large tenders with high-capacity water and fuel tanks. All of these and more would become the Santa Fe way on steam locomotives designs going forward. He needed to take the successful design of the 3800 class engines and create new, more powerful designs in the future with the commonality and interchangeability of parts and service techniques. This would create a system-wide mechanical department that used the same basic components on all Santa Fe locomotives built from the 3800 class forward. The room for experimenting with new appliances must still be maintained, but the basic components of all Santa Fe steam locomotives going forward would be interchangeable. This streamlining of the parts and servicing of steam locomotives would greatly enhance the smooth and efficient operation of Santa Fe and save a lot of time and money. Purcell knew that he needed help. He knew that he would not be able to do this by himself on a railroad as large as Santa Fe. In 1922, he hired Charles T. Ripley and H. Lanning. Ripley and Lanning would design and build all Santa Fe steam locomotives built after the 3800 class, including 3751 and 5000. Purcell was still the ultimate authority in the mechanical department, and any changes in design or technology that Lanning and Ripley came up with would have to be approved by Purcell. Now Purcell could concentrate on managing the mechanical department without having to spend so much time designing new locomotives. Ripley and Lanning's offices were in two different cities. Lanning's office was in Topeka and Ripley's was in Chicago. Both men would work together designing the 3751 and ultimately the 5000 classes. They were both required to report to Purcell on the progress of the designs and any problems in production. In 1927, Purcell, Ripley, and Lanning were also developing 464s and 284s, but we will concentrate on the 3751 class because it has the most significant impact on the development of the 5000, 5001, and 5011 class. Upon delivery in 1927, tests were run with 3751 between La Junta, Colorado, and Albuquerque, New Mexico. The test results were compared to engine 3714. Results of the test published in Railway and Mechanical Engineer showed that 3751 hauled 33% more tonnage and used 19% less coal than the 3714. 3751 could start 26 cars on level grade, 15 cars on a 1.13% grade, and she could take 9 cars over Raton Pass unassisted. Santa Fe was naturally very pleased with her performance and immediately ordered 13 more units. All of them had one-piece cast steel frames with cylinders, air reservoir, and power reverse cast integral. They all carried Type E superheaters, Alesco feedwater heaters, and Nicholson thermic siphons. Rebuilds. 1930s. All were converted to burn oil and received new tenders with roller bearings on all axles. The new tenders had 20,000-gallon water tanks and 7,107-gallon oil tanks. 1939 through 1941, the 3751 class was rebuilt in the Albuquerque shops with 80-inch drivers and roller bearings on all locomotive axles. Franklin lateral motion devices were added on the front driving axle, and boiler pressure was increased to 230 pounds per square inch. New side rods and Batts engine truck with inside roller bearings, 37-inch wheels were also added. After World War II, Alesco feedwater heaters replaced with Worthington. Wagner bypass valves were installed. Double sand domes replaced with large single dome. Engine weight increased from 464,700 to 478,100, and tractive effort increased from 65,000 to 66,000 pounds.